So my name is Louis Yong. You can call me Louis, just for your convenience. So I'm the general manager of the overseas business department. On behalf of the company, I'm taking over of all the overseas business. This is our headquarters in Chongqing, and we are one of the central government-owned SOEs, and one belong to MCC Group company, Meteorological Corporation of China.
Yeah.
So we are one of the key subsidiaries of them. And this company, we start from 1958. This is our 61 year. And we are in meteorological area, in steel business for the last 60 years. At the beginning, this company was dedicated by the central government. As you know, at that time, everything planned by the central government. We were dispatched from northeast of China, a city called Anshan. 800 engineers and their families dispatched by one train from northeast to Chongqing and settled down here. At that time was to build the first independent steel plant in China, in southwest China, that is Panzhihua Steel. After that, we gradually grown up with the new China. We built up Bao Steel in Shanghai, Wuhan Steel in Wuhan, and a lot of big steel plants. Then comes today to CISDI. So this is a brief, very interesting story. This is how it can only happen in a country like China.
Yeah.
So it will not like the other countries. But 25 years back, we become a company. That means you have to be competitive in the market.
Right.
There's no longer any disputed jobs from the central government. You have to get a job by your own. You have to be standalone company.
Yeah.
So that's why we start compete in the market. And 15 years ago, that is 2003, we got our first job overseas from Brazil. It's a blast furnace in the steel industry. That is the first independent exported integrated solution to the Western country by us. In this industry, in steel industry, have a quite good name in this market. So if you talk to some top steel producers in the world, you will get CISDI's name in their top list.
Yeah.
So this is just a brief introduction of the company.
It was interesting you mentioned Bao Steel in Shanghai and Wuhan Steel, because I know those two companies, but I didn't know that you guys had a hand in sort of building them up to be what they are today. Because I think most people know Bao Steel. Because they send steel to the whole world, essentially.
That's right. So actually, people know Bao Steel, but they don't know the story behind that, how Bao Steel was built up. Maybe a little bit, 5 minutes. So Bao Steel the idea was coming from that time, the leader of Chinese, Mr. Deng Xiaoping, you must be knowing. So when he decided we have to open the gate, he visited Japan in the 1970s, and he visited Nippon Steel at that time. And he was totally surprised by how a modern factory could be.
Yeah.
So he told the people, said we want exactly same plant in China. So at that time, they were debating whether it should be in North China, someplace near Tianjin, or in Shanghai. After a long debate, people decided we go to Bao Steel in Shanghai, and we imported everything from Japan, even the nuts and bolts. Yeah. Because at that time, China had nothing. And our company was dispatched to the site to learn from the Japanese engineers, to learn how to build a steel plant, and inch by inch. After that is the phase one. Then phase two, we partially have Japanese, and also we got some technology from Germany, SMS Group. And phase three, then CISDI take the lead. We get supporting from them. So now, up to today, CISDI is able to build this facility by its own. Yeah. So this is also a story reflects how China develops in the last 40 years. So we are the witness of all these histories.
Yeah, it's a good analogy because, like you said, at the time you wanted to build that first factory, China didn't have the infrastructure or the components ready, but now China can produce everything by themselves, very self-sufficient.
Yeah. So up to today, if we talk about, because I'm in charge of overseas business, so for a company like us, when we go overseas, we faced a lot of challenges and a lot of, even you can say, misunderstanding at the beginning. Comes up a very interesting story for myself. I was dispatched to India in 2011. So I'm going to a renowned company called Tata Steel, which is also very famous in Europe. And I was dispatched to there to talk to promoting our company as a technology solution provider. But when I trying to manage a small 5-minute meeting with the vice president of engineering, he said, I don't believe Chinese companies because first I have a bad experience. Before us, they had a small reheating furnace imported from China, which the performance is not very good. He's complaining that we know China, your price is cheap, but the quality is not good. And your people language is not good, we cannot communicate, and your people is always complaining, you cannot get here on time for service because you said there's a visa problem, blah, 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 blah. Things that I have no interest in on you at all. It took me 2 years to tell him China is so big, you have good companies, you also have not that good companies, you have companies willing and have the ability to cooperate with you. So now we are the preferred supplier to Tata Steel. So my personal experience makes me very proud and makes me more determined to go to this market. So this is one story, and also another one, maybe this is the Baosteel Zhanjiang. This is the new plant. And the other one I would like to make a special mention is this plant is in Vietnam, Formosa Hatinh Steel Plant. Formosa is Taiwan for the plastic producer, the topping lead in the world, and they decided they want to build a steel plant in Southeast Asia because Southeast Asia has the biggest potential in the future because the population, the infrastructure is coming up very soon. So that is in 2012, and we start talking with Formosa, helping them to realize this dream. Because in that time, Vietnam is just like maybe 20 years in China, you have nothing. Even you don't have the road good enough to transport the equipment. And this is a small village, fishing village, used to be. Now is one of the biggest port in the middle of Vietnam. And now this facility, we started the second phase in 2017, May. Now this has become one of the biggest single industry facility in Vietnam. And it's around $15 billion investment. And CISDI is the leading company doing all engineering and the turnkey solution for these blast furnaces. So from nothing to today, and a lot of employment was attached to these facilities. Now this became, benchmark in this area.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just like you said, like Vietnam is one of those countries that are still sort of coming up.
Yes.
Like you said, like China was maybe 15, 20 years ago. How is that Belt and Road Initiative, how is that helping you as a company to expand and to reach new customers?
Very important. So actually, when this was first initiative was first proposed by China, that was 2014 or 15 at the time. Actually, we were the first guy to have the feeling of, wow, this means a lot to us. Because, steel industry is an industry that normally it will be infrastructure driven, economic development driven. We always say steel is the backbone of a country. Without steel, you can do nothing. The modern industry is nothing. If you look at the Belt and Road Initiative, no matter it's from the road one or the ocean one, all these countries, say Southeast Asia, and then you go to Pakistan, India, Middle East, then you went to Europe, and also the other side, all these countries. Number one, this is our traditional, target countries. As you can see, from 2015, when the Belt and Road Initiative was started, today, we have got more than 20 billion RMB countries from these areas. Number one is because of people was motivated, say, this will have big potential. It's worthwhile to investment, and this is the right time to go ahead. Secondly, because of this, the Chinese companies like us, we have technology. We know how to help them build, and we got backed by the financing from China. CISDI is working very closely with Sinosure and the China Import and Export Bank, China Development Bank. All these banks, we already set up one bench-up steel plant in Malaysia, which is the Kuantan. That is the number one project between Chinese government and Malaysia government. that is the industrial park, was built there. In the industrial park, a 3 million ton per annum steel plant was built, which CISDI is the overall contractor for that project.
Right.
That project was initiated by the Chinese government, the Premier Mr. Li Keqiang, and at that time the President of Malaysia. And we built that one with Chinese technology, Chinese funding for that project. Now, the project, we will build that project in 12 months, which is a record. And that plant start making profit only after 14 months, which never happened in history because the market is booming. So after that, we get so many projects in this area with our technology, our solutions, along with our fund from China. So nowadays, I wanted to make a mention about another one. Maybe you are very familiar with all these stories in Pakistan, Africa, which is everybody is doing. But last year, we are promoting one project in Australia, in South Australia, a place called Whyalla. So that is an old traditional industrial town of Australia, but it was abandoned 30 years back because Australian people don't think they need any industry anymore.
Yeah.
They can just selling their iron ores, some wines, good enough for them. But that plant used to be the marine for the basis of marine making the ship during World War II. It's a small town. Only one steel plant was there, but that steel plant was running loss for many, many years, and it's about to bankrupt, and all the people will go homeless. So we went there, and along with one British company, he said, "Okay, I want to rebuild this plant with the fund from China, with the technology from China." So CISDI, along with this UK company, we talked to local government authorities, and people are so supportive of this project. So last year, we have a big signing ceremony to initiate this project with the presence of the Australian Prime Minister and the South Australian Chief Minister.
Yeah.
And also this year, on April, the Belt and Road Initiative formula in Beijing, we again signed a big EPC contract with them. We will start this project later this year. It's like $15 billion project. It means so much. They said for the next 50 years, this town will be shining again. So this is just another story saying how Belt and Road Initiative influenced not only a company like us, CISDI, but also a lot of families, a lot of people in different countries.
By making something possible that wouldn't have been so easy before, because now you have all these countries working together to sort of make things like these happen and finding opportunities, and then
that's right. And I think it's beneficial also for all the parties, for Chinese parties, for this UK company, for Australian local company, and also that we just make a lot of related industry on that whole region to boom. So it's good. I can see the joy from the heart of the people.
Yeah.
When we were there, we were very warmly welcomed by the people, by the kids, by the families. We invited to their houses. That time with Christmas and summer Christmas in Australia.
Summer Christmas in Australia, yeah.
Yeah, we enjoyed a lot of, we talked with each other how we can build a much more beautiful future. So I feel very happy for that.
Yeah.
Not only because I got a job, but also I feel that we are helping people.
You've done something for a community that otherwise would have suffered if this thing hadn't come along. Can you say something about what you think is going to happen in the next 10, maybe 15 years? Like, do you have any major plans? Are there any certain projects or clients that you're...
You mean in terms of the company development, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So we have a clear version that in the next 10 to 15 years, it's very crucial for a company like us to be a real global enterprises. In terms of, currently, we are still operating mainly on China. Though I already introduced to you, we have 7 subsidiaries all over the world, but currently, these all subsidiaries, companies, they're just an extended arm for us doing marketing and partially the after service.
Yeah.
But all the major activities, engineering, the equipment manufacturing and supply is all based in China. But we do see the global resource utilization is our future. So currently in India, we are building up our own team of engineering, utilize this highly educated, language sufficient Indian labor source to do the engineering job for us. And we are setting up our facility in Southeast Asia, say Vietnam, to have some manufacturing facility there. And also we are having more and more people in UK, where our a British company lies up. All the marketing and the financing function will be more and more focused in UK, in London, and also in USI. We have more and more these people for this commissioning support and for some certain areas of our services. So just in a simple word, we want to globalizing our resources. So we utilize all the best resources, what most competitive resources in the world, and utilize by our technology to give the best solution to the world. So this is how a company like us will be integrated to the global economy system. This is our future. And this is what we're going to set up in the next 5 to 10 years. And we have a clear target this year, what we will achieve, next year, what we will achieve. So I think within 5 years, you will see a totally different system again.
How much does the Belt and Road Initiative play into these future plans of yours?
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that they must be some sort of an integral part of the plans going ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So like Mr. Xi said, the Belt and Road Initiative is just to helping all these countries to benefit from this initiative. And so like I just mentioned, the country in Vietnam and in India, by CISDI setting up this facility there, we will helping them to develop the skills of manufacturing this equipment structure into a certain level, which can be international competitive. So we set up this facility means we give them the related education, related training, and this kind of things. And also, like in India, we also help them to build up the system. You have this basic skill, but how to integrate into the global competitiveness. So this is a way of CISDI as a state-owned company, our responsibility of not only to get a project with Chinese fund and get your profit, but also try to help the locals to build up these skills or your own competitiveness to be part of this global trading, global economic chance. So this is also our aim and target, and this is highly appreciated and promoted by the Belt and Road Initiative to help us to do so. And we can see countries like UK, like America, they are not directly in this initiative, but they're very much keen and happy to help us because they can also benefit from these initiatives.
Sounds good.